Hello, kindergarten families. Welcome to another parent video. Today we're going to be talking about structure and routines at home. My name is Jennifer Pasmore. I am a kindergarten teacher at Cleveland Elementary, and we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to pull up our slides for you today. Here we go. So, today we're going to talk about structure and routines at home and how this is a key to setting your child up for school success, because school success always starts at home. So, why does my child need structure and routine? Structure and routine is very, very important for children's healthy development. It gives them a sense of security. They can make predictions about what's going to happen next, so they have predictability in their lives. And it also fosters important life skills, things they're going to need for the future. So consistent routines, clear expectations, and a supportive environment all contribute to a child's ability to thrive. So every child needs structure and routine in their lives. And I can't talk enough about how this is so important. When school starts, we see the class come in and they don't know about structure and routine. They've never been in school before. We get 20, 27 children who a lot of them have never had structure in their lives. And I can't tell you how many times parents come to myself as well as Ms. Tornia and say, a month later after school starts, oh my goodness, how they have changed. They've just calmed down. They're happier. They're following directions at home better. They're listening better. And I have to tell you, that is due to structure and routine at school. Our classrooms are very, very structured, and we have solid routines every day that every kiddo follows. And it's just amazing to see the difference just in a month that structure and routine can make. So I can't emphasize enough how important this is for kids. So there are some key routines that you can put in place at home to help your child. And I'm just going to go over 3 today. We have getting ready for school, homework, and bedtime. Those are 3 big ones. So let's start with getting ready for school. The first thing you want to do when you get ready for school, wake your child up at the same time every day. So, getting ready for school, you're going to set a certain time that you want your child to be up, that they're going to have enough time to be ready and to school on time. And then that time is what time your child is going to get up Monday through Friday. Now, Saturday and Sunday on the weekends that's rest time. You might want to set a different time that you make sure and say, you know what, I want my kiddo up by 9 o'clock. They don't need to sleep any longer than that. I don't know. It's totally up to you. But I would make structured times for wake up. Make sure they've got plenty of time allotted so they can get ready for school. And this is something for the future I would set up and get ready over the summer. You can time and see how long it takes your child to get ready for school. And that way you know how much time you need to allot before school starts. Just a trick. That's kind of what I used to do. Second tip I have for you for getting ready to school: in the evening before the next day your child is to get up, lay out clothing the night before for your child that your child is going to wear the next day. They can always help you choose the items that they want to wear, but make sure everything is laid out so your child has everything laid out for them and they know what to put on when they get up the next morning and nothing is forgotten. I can't tell you how many times parents just let their kids get up and get dressed and they come to school with no underwear on, or they're missing socks. There's a lot of times where it's like, oh my goodness, you guys had a rough morning this morning. So Make sure you lay things out the night before. That helps a ton. And your child doesn't have to think about it. They just put on whatever's laid out that you guys have decided ahead of time. It makes things go faster and smoother in the morning. Tip number 3 for getting ready for school, have your child's backpack packed up the night before school and put it in a designated place with their shoes, and if it's a cooler season, and their jacket. That way, when you get up in the morning and you're half awake trying to get them to school at, oh my gosh, we start so early, 6:45. Everybody's half awake at that point. You know right where everything is. You're not scrambling around looking for things at the last minute. It's all sitting right there at the door, packed up, ready to go. You just have to grab it and walk out the door. I know they make like little sticky hooks that you can buy at Walmart, and you can buy a really heavy duty sticky hook and stick it by the door on the wall. And then it doesn't take any drilling of holes. It doesn't mess up your wall, nothing like that. It's really clean. And you can hang the backpack right there on the hook with the jacket and put the shoes underneath. And then you always know where everything is. And the child, when they come in after school, they can hang it right there on the hook, and then it stays there until it's ready to go to school the next day. That's always something I recommend. And those sticky hooks are not very expensive at all. So that is another thing you can do to set routines and structure in your day for getting ready to school. Number 4 tip, make sure your child eats breakfast every day. This is something they need to do when getting ready for school. Either they eat at home before you leave, or we offer breakfast at Cleveland from 6:45 to 7 o'clock. Make sure you drop them off on time at 6:45 so they have enough time to eat breakfast. You will be amazed at the difference in how well a child does during the day when they have had breakfast. When they're hungry, their little brains are just not functioning at the same level. So always make sure they get something in their stomach before they come to school, or make sure you drop them off in time for breakfast. And then my 5th tip for getting ready for school for structures and routines is, as your child is getting ready, monitor the tasks that they're doing. And make sure they're doing them correctly and give them feedback if they're not. So make sure they're brushing their teeth, combing their hair, getting dressed correctly, their shirt's on the right way, just following up with them, checking in with them, and making sure they're getting everything done. And then when they do, praise them for it. This is an opportunity for you to say, hooray, you did it all by yourself, so they can feel independent and good about themselves. And that builds a great relationship between you and your child as well. So just follow up with them as they're going through the morning, getting ready. Keep an eye on them and make sure they're on task and doing what they're supposed to be doing, and then doing it the right way. All right, so those are my tips for morning routine setup. Here are some tips for homework routines. Your child is going to have homework this year. It's already started. When your child brings their homework home, you are going to want to choose a specific time that homework is going to be done. And then keep that time the same every day, Monday through Friday. So with my kids, I would always say when they got home from school at 3 o'clock, from 3 to 3:30 is relaxing snack time. Watch some TV while you eat a snack and just chill. Just rest your brain. And then at 3:30 is when we would start the homework. So, and that was every day, half an hour rest, and then 3:30 homework time starts. Now, when homework time starts, you're going to want to pick a specific spot that the homework is to be done, whether that's the kitchen table, maybe a quiet space in the home, a desk you have somewhere where it's clean and clear, where there's very minimal distractions, and your child can be monitored while they're doing their homework in case they need help. and you can make sure they stay on task. And then my third tip for homework routines is once the homework is finished, homework time is up, you're done. I would suggest you take the homework packet and put it in a safe place where it can be found the next day. So honestly, I would take their take home folder and I would just put that packet right back in their take home folder. I don't check packets until Friday, so it will stay there. It will totally stay there. So nobody's going to move it. All right. Moving on to bedtime routines. So for bedtime routines, you're going to want to choose, again, a specific time that your child is going to go to bed every night and stick to that time. Children need at least 8 to 10 hours of rest a night. So you're going to pick accordingly to when your child needs to get up. Make sure they get at least 8 to 10 hours of rest. 30 to 45 minutes before bedtime, have your child starting to get ready for bed by taking a bath, brushing their teeth, putting on their pajamas, and then spend time with your child in bed reading for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. We give you a chart on their homework packet and just fill in that you read with them for 10 or 15 minutes and you get to check off that box. And they get credit for reading. So reading with your child in bed at night could be looking at a book together, could be you reading to them, could be eventually them reading to you, maybe looking for sight words on the page. And you can reference back to our homework video. I gave you a few more tips on reading with your child and what that looks like. So these are some tips for bedtime routines. I know a lot of parents have concerns about bedtime and how much sleep does a child really need to get to be the highest amount of functioning during the day, so they get the best results. This is a chart from the American Academy of Pediatrics, and they recommend that a child 3 to 5 years old needs 10 to 13 hours. 6 to 12 needs 9 to 12. So I would say aim for 9 or 10, and that's probably your optimal time period there. Things you can do to help your child get the most out of bedtime and get the most rest. Make sure you have consistent expectations, routines, and bedtime. They may fight you at first if they're not used to it, but once they know you're consistent and there's no negotiating and this is what time they go to bed, they're going to relax, they're going to chill, and they're going to get used to that routine, and they're going to know. You say, oh, it's time for bed. And they'll, okay, and they just go. So they may fight you at first if they're not used to it, but once that consistency is in place, you'll see the benefits. My recommendation, no electronics in the bedroom. Take out the TVs, take out the iPads, take out the gaming systems, no phones, none of that, because that is a temptation for them to do once you close the door and turn off the lights. I can't tell you how many kids we have come in and fall asleep during class. And I'll say, why are you so sleepy? And they'll say, because I stayed up all night playing games. So if those things aren't in the bedroom and they don't have access to those things, it's going to make it a lot easier for them to just go to bed. I can't stress this enough. Do not have electronics in your child's bedroom. It doesn't help at all. It just creates a big mess. Here's another tough one. Resist caffeine and sugar. These drinks that are full of caffeine and sugar these days, these kids will drink them at dinner. They'll be up all night long. And then you're pulling your hair out trying to get them to go to bed, but they've just had a Coke, an hour ago, and they're bouncing off the walls. So just, restrict caffeine and sugar maybe once a day at lunch or less. Caffeine and sugar are never, never fun. I always had an issue with caffeine and sugar with my kids, so it was tough. Um, Finally, my last tip for what you can do to help your child get the most rest for school is make sure that once they go to bed, the house is quiet. It's a quiet environment. You set the routine as well. I mean, you set the example as well. So maybe you go down for quiet time once they go down for quiet time. And everybody in the house knows this is quiet time. It's bedtime. And then your child takes it seriously because everyone is taking it seriously. So having a quiet, cool, relaxed environment when it's time for bed helps a ton to help your child go to sleep easier. So, all right, moving on. Here are some examples I found for you of schedules. If you want to start getting into scheduling and really hardcore getting into routines for your day, I've got you 2 different examples here that you can look at. One is a lot more detailed than the other. We have like a checklist on the left of basic things that your child needs to do during the day, and they can check them off when they've completed them, or just a sample schedule with routines on the right side, which has a lot more detail, a lot more time, a lot more ideas that you can do. So I thought both of these might be helpful for you. And I will share these slides with you so you can always go back and reference these as well. All right, here are some resources for you on building structure at home, creating routines, some example schedules, things like that, that I thought you might find helpful. These are all links, so all you really need to do is go into the slide and then just click on the link, and it should give you the website, and you can just click on it and go there. And read at your own time. So just some extra resources that you might find helpful. All right, and that is all I have for you today on structures and routines. Thank you so much for attending the video today and for your attention. We always appreciate all your support. I hope that you found this information today helpful. I can't tell you enough how much I swear on structures and routines for my kids when they were younger. Now they're 17, 18, and 26. So they're kind of on their own now and do their own thing. But when they were younger, oh my goodness, structures and routines made all the difference in the world. If you have any questions, you want more information, you want to pick my brain about something you're wondering, feel free to give me a call, send me a message on Parent Square, send me an email. I am always here for you to help you in any way I can so that your child can be successful in school. Again, thank you so much for listening today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.